Hi guys, welcome back to the Yes You Pod.
The podcast where we put you back in community. My name's Emily.
And I'm Evie, and you probably haven't heard our voices in a while, and I know you missed us.
Yeah.
Just
You
face
guys were so
it.
lonely without us. Imagine. Guys,
Imagine
I
that.
get lonely without Evie.
Mm.
Imagine you guys.
Imagine your life
You guys
without
must
hearing
have been so
Emily's voice
sad.
every week. So depressed.
Without, yeah. This is actually really depressing. Like, my life hasn't been the same. As you can see. Oh, you can't. Haha! Jokes on you guys.
But
But don't worry
but
about that.
but but
But don't worry
not
about
for
that.
long. Not for long. Not for
Not for
long.
long. Not for
Not
long.
for
Guess
long.
what? Guess what?
What?
Guess what? New season?
Tell him. Tell him. Tell him all
Okay,
about it.
guys. Drama, please. Starting January of 2024, we're getting a revamp. Season
Oh,
number 2 of the Yes You Pod.
already.
Oh my god, we're so excited. We can't wait. You guys are gonna hear all new stuff. It's gonna be so amazing. You can't even believe this stuff's gonna come out. You guys can't believe it.
You can't even believe
But
it.
it's gonna be amazing. We're gonna have just so many new things that we can't speak about because of our NDA.
Because it's got a secret. Can you keep it? Swear this
Yeah.
one you'll save. Yeah, guys. So make sure that you just have all your expectations and just pray that we meet them. But like, we're going to surpass
Yeah.
them. Anyways,
Yeah.
I'm excited for a
Anyways.
new season of the Yes You Pod. And it feels so crazy that we did this in April. It's December. It's about to be how many months? A lot of months. I can't even count right now. May, June, July, August, September, October.
Major,
Girl,
oh,
a lot of months, a lot of
isn't
months.
it
Eight
like
months,
6?
8 months.
8? 8 is a lot. It is a
That's a lot of
long number.
months.
8 months? You're lying.
Yeah,
Oh, full term.
in a few days.
Wait.
New
And a new season?
beginnings. Come
New
on,
beginnings. Amen. Can you wait? That's actually crazy.
it's pretty
Stop.
prophetic
I'm
if you
gonna
ask
cry.
me.
We
All
just
right, God.
started. All right. What are we doing?
Wait. Side
But
note. Have you seen that
yeah.
trend that it's like, oh, I was just friends with her yesterday. We've only been friends since yesterday, and then it's like yesterday, and then it has the date, and it's like years and years. That's how I feel about the podcast. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we just started a podcast yesterday, and
Oh, I
it's like,
think
no,
yeah.
it's been 8 months.
Aw.
That's
I was just
crazy.
thinking about that. Like the period where we did start it was mentally not a great one, but like also one of the best in my life, if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
that makes sense.
Like, because it was such a season of like calm, and I didn't know calm was really before the storm. And like, again, I'm a complainer. Don't think that I'm not gonna complain about the best scenes in my life. So obviously, I was like complaining about my life, but like it was generally calm before the storm. And like, not to get into too much detail, but like 2023 Loki sucked, but like slapped at the same time.
It had its highs and its lows.
Yeah. But like the highs were really high and the lows were like really low.
Really low. It's like
But like
that.
I'll take it.
It's like that
I'll
tapestry
take it.
behind you. Low mountains, low valleys,
Oh my god. I
the
remember
highs
I
and the
was talking
lows.
okay, yeah. I remember talking to my dad one time cuz we were just talking in my room. But it was like years ago and like I got it and I was like he was talking about the birds in the background. They mind you, just by the way, for all the audio listeners, which is all of you. Um there's like a tapestry behind me and it has like some mountains and it's like gold and pink and it's really cute, but then it has like a sun and like some birds heading towards the sun. And like my dad was like, "Oh, like those birds are like flying home." And I'm like, but
Hmm.
what if they're flying away, like to greater
Oof.
places and like a whole thing? I literally remember that. And I was like, maybe this isn't their home. Maybe they're flying to greater places. Maybe they're traveling together. And
Wow.
that's what I took from it. And so
Why
I
are you
always
so
remember that.
deep?
And so, yeah, trauma. Anyways,
Felt that.
the, um, anyways, what we came here to do was ask you, Evie, how was your week?
Ah,
How was
Dios.
your
Oh
week? How was your week?
my God. I don't remember any about it. How was my week so far? It's only been 3 days, guys. Um,
Same.
but
I
honestly,
just woke up.
since we last spoke, our last episode was on gratitude, which is literally like I felt like a month ago almost. Like it's been a few weeks.
You're
So
lying.
I'm not lying. I wish I was lying, guys. Forgive us, but like, thank you for listening and still being here. Because the last time we spoke
Yeah.
was right before Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was great. I'm happy to be home. Um, it was great fun. And then since then, I'm just ready for the holidays, like to kick in for sure. Sorry, guys. Emily's face made me laugh.
You just got the most like crazy email. Talk about it later.
Oh goodness. So
Listen
ever
on next
since
week
then,
for real.
okay.
Golly.
Sorry, guys. So ever since then, I just been ready for Christmas time because it's my birthday month. So I'm happy and I'm excited, and I have two weddings coming up this month too to attend. It's like so
Yours?
busy. I wish not two of my weddings. I'm a guest at
Oh,
one and a made up honor in
Miss
another.
Kim
So
K. Oh,
I'm
like that's
literally
kind
the
of. I
girl in
want to see that
27
though.
dresses. Huh?
Oh, I haven't seen 27 Dresses. That's really sad. I need to. I was talking about like how she got married, and then 3 days later she divorced him. Was it three
Oh,
days?
Kim
It wasn't 3
K.
days.
It was 72 days or something like that. 60 something
72.
days.
I thought it was 72 hours. I'm
Nah,
done.
nah. It was a little bit more than that, but still a little bit. But yeah, guys, so I'm doing okay. Like resting up. I actually stayed home today and yesterday. I never do that. So we're in a season of revamping, decluttering, getting ready for the new year. Got rid of a bunch of clothes. Emily donated a bunch of clothes. It's doing great. We're just living. Emily,
Yeah.
how was your week? As you prepare to be on break soon?
What? What did you say?
As you
I
prepare to
can't
be
hear.
on break soon?
Oh, I didn't know what you said. But great, honestly. Honestly, it's not great. But like what is life without challenge? And you know what? I prayed for days like this, and that's what like really sucks. Is that God listens. It's not that it's like it's just like
Not that he sucks that it listens.
no, it's just like I prayed for this. I prayed for days that I would complain about school or like
Yeah.
having a fight with my parents or like having to clean my room. Like all these things are like very like minuscule and just like mundane things. Like I wanted these mundane things for so long. And now I got it. I'm like such a complainer that I all I can think about is like complain, complain, complain. Like my life is sucks. Like no. But like life has had such challenges. Like a couple weeks ago, I was talking about like new beginnings, new beginnings, and literally every single one of the new beginnings that I was talking about. What were we talking about? I think it was just one in the beginning of in the episodes. Like we are just talking, like
Yeah.
catching up. All these new beginnings have had the biggest trials of my life, not because it's been like hard, but because I had to do it alone.
Yeah.
Like it was just me, like having to like deal with my own problems, and that sucked. But it's also like right now I'm just like I just saw a video and it was just like different words for like things you can't express. And like there is like a word that's like liberotosis, and it was like the feeling of having so much pent up, like trying to control everything. And then it was like dot, like the semicolon, like the feeling of letting it all go.
Mm.
Like that's what I feel right now.
Yeah.
Liberotosis. I'm just like not concerned with controlling everything. Because guess what? I'm just a girl. And I can't do it all.
And it just always results back to that. I'm just a girl. I'm
Yeah,
just a girl.
I'm just a girl. And then it's just it ties into what we're going to talk about today, which is insecurities. Um and honestly, I just like this week's been hard.
Yeah.
I lied. This week's been really hard. Just because I I try not to be an insecure person. I try to act like my life is great. Like my life is completely in order because it makes me feel good to have that perception. But on the inside, like I'm crumbling, guys. Like I try to act really confident because it helps. Cuz like the same way like when you smile, like even if it's fake, it makes you feel a little happy.
Yeah.
That's the same way I feel about confidence. But like I've actually been a very insecure kid all my life. But
Mm.
I didn't and I was talking to my brother about this. I've been an insecure kid all my life, but I didn't realize it because being insecure as a kid was never wanted. Like for
Yeah.
me, the adults around me, like I was one of the only girls in my family.
Right.
So of course I was put on this like sassy, bossy princess stereotype. So obviously as a kid, I'm going to be bossy and sarcastic and smart mouth and like witty. But as I get older, it's not cute anymore. It's not wanted anymore. So now it's like I do try to stand up for myself the same way I did as a kid, but it's not cute. So yeah, I'm insecure about it. And I think that everyone hates me, and that's what's going on in my mind. So yeah, not doing good. But it's okay. Because guess what? If you're not doing good in this moment, stop acting like you are. It's okay to
Yeah.
not be okay.
Exactly.
It's literally okay. And I would rather like this is talking about us in our podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Like we never put out anything that we wouldn't listen to.
Exactly. And be
So
real. And you're so real. Like you're being so
yeah,
real. You're talking about everything like when you were little. That has a big part in who we are right now and how we're like what our insecurities were then. Or maybe the stuff that we weren't insecure about back then and someone made us feel bad about ties into what we're insecure about now too. Like you just said,
yeah,
like I
exactly.
was because I was the only girl, like I had to put up that front of being not overbearing, but like stand up for yourself, be powerful, be a
Yeah,
boss. Like don't let anyone talk you
yeah,
down. Like stand your ground, stand on business,
exactly.
stand
Stand
on
on
business.
business.
And that is so. It's really girl boss of you, but it could now like in your new situations in life. Like obviously, I know I'm just speaking as your friend. Now I see you in situations where you are that girl boss too, and you can see how people like react, and it's like it's not something that it sucks that people don't see it as a strength more.
Yeah,
And it's something that you had grown to
exactly.
be insecure about at times. But I
Yeah,
think like you said, like the beauty in it is that it's real. Like what you're going through is so
yeah,
real, and like without it, like it makes you feel more confident in other ways. I know for me, like one of the things that when we were talking about this, I was like, oh, there's so many things. Like there's so many things that we're insecure about that we don't talk about.
yeah,
Maybe it's that where to one of the things when I was younger was like, oh, you talk a lot. Like you're very talkative. Or
yeah,
and it wasn't like in class that I was getting in trouble for talking. It was like people would tell me, oh, she talks too much. She's so annoying. And yeah, if that was you, welcome to Yes You Pod. Thank you for listening. Because that is my biggest strength. That I love to talk.
I'm
I'm so
dead. Shout out to the
outgoing.
haters.
Shout out to my haters. Sorry, that shit couldn't phase me. And shout out to Nikki. Thank you, Pink Friday. Um
Oh my god, that's funny.
but I just remember like someone telling me that. And then now like it is literally one of the things I love to do is to build and to talk and to so something that can make you feel so insecure in that moment can end up being your biggest strength. Like I always tell Emily, oh my god, you're so mature for your age. Like, you're so because you're a freaking boss. Like that was something that you were taught and like you had to grow into and adapt to, and that is your biggest reason for who you are now. So if like you're insecure about something, you never know how later it could be in your strength. um that goes with another thing that I was insecure about a lot when I was younger was like my skin and my acne. Like,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, my height. Why am I so tall? No one is tall. It's weird being tall in a girl. Like, it's weird being so pale with so much acne. Like, just so many things. Um, but then now it's like, oh well, people actually want to be tall. Like, they like to wear heels and be models,
Yeah,
or they don't care about like now. I think people just realize kids were so mean, like people are just
yeah,
mean. Like when you're
100%.
little, in
Girls are
public
mean.
school,
Girls are still
girls are
mean.
mean, and
People in general
guys
are
are mean
so
too.
mean. Yeah,
People, and so like those insecurities when I was younger. Now I'm like I'm glowing. Like I've never been so much happier to be like, oh my god, I'm tall. I can rock this outfit, or my skin doesn't look great
yeah,
today, but it looks great. It's gotten so much better. Like so
yeah.
those are just little things that I thought about when I was just thinking about what was I so insecure about in the past. And kind of just things that I've gotten over. But do you think, like, too, like for you, like, what are the things that I know you mentioned one, but maybe like how have you, I don't know, maybe combated that or something else?
Hmm. Honestly, like the most. And I think that was it. Like I internalized all of it, but I didn't let it show
Yeah.
that I was like internalizing it. And it was more, and honestly, like that, like it was all directed on the response of my family. Like if my family said something was true, then I completely believed it.
Yeah.
Or like I didn't care what anybody else said. So like as I kind of got into like my preteens and started realizing my body and like
Yeah.
different comments that I didn't think would affect me to this day, like 100,000%, like you know how Hispanic families are, like comments or whatever that they think is
Yeah.
harmless. Um, and it just honestly, it really sucks because I wish, like, I wrote a poem which on my love
Come
Athena
on.
is drowning. On my love Athena is at the bottom of the ocean.
My
She's
life Athena's making a comeback in
deceased.
2024, please.
She's gonna come back. Don't worry. But one of my first poems I remember writing was that, like, um, I wish I could wash my mind clean of all the things that I know and seen.
Mm-hmm.
Like whites in a wash. It's a whole thing.
Well,
Did I read it?
yes.
Oh my god, let me find it. Sorry guys. Pause.
Sorry, guys. You
But it
listen to
was
a
just like
podcast
that.
of
Like
two
I remember
poets.
writing. Oh my god, yeah. Literally, what do you guys expect? But it's that. Like I just felt in that moment, just like remembering all the things that have happened and the things that I've been through. I was like, okay. It makes me cry knowing I will never be able to cleanse my mind of the things I know. The captured moments behind my eyes follow me and my shadow. Pet rocks on unbreakable leashes. I hold these truths to be self evident that while I pray every night for the wisdom of the ones before me, I spend every morning wishing I could wash the slate clean, like whites in the wash, stained only to those who look closer.
Come on.
And it was just like, I think about that all the time. Girl, that wasn't me. Literally something came over me. But I think about it all the time just because it's like I've been through situations in my life where I just feel like I wish that I could go back and change that. And I wish there were situations where I closed my ears and covered my eyes. Or
Mm.
someone would have done that for me.
Yeah.
And we talked about that. Like I wish I want to be the person that does that for others because I don't think I did have that, but in not in all the ways that I wanted.
Right.
And so now that I live with that fear because I'm insecure not because of certain things about like my body or my mind or my
Mm-hmm.
intelligence or my friends. It's just whatever's trendy or cool.
Yeah.
I want to be the coolest person in the room. I want to be the star of the show, i.e., what I've been raised up to as. But now I can't be. And that's a struggle because I have been able in many situations to have some kind of power within the situations that I'm around. But now I'm not that now I'm in the real world because it isn't the real world. High school is not the real world. I've been in the real world.
Right.
It's similar. But high school is freaking dangerous because you have a bunch of people who think this is the real world but act in this like societal circle. And there's hierarchy and there's things and there's drama and there's backstabbing. Like I have
Yeah.
never like that's why I say like teenage girls are mean. Just people are mean in general.
Yeah.
But teenage girls are mean because that's cool. That's trendy. That's in.
Yeah.
And I can't be that person.
Right.
And that's why like I get insecure about the friends that I keep around or the friends that or the lack thereof, honestly. And so honestly, like I went on a rant. Let's reel that back. I.e.,
You're
when
good.
I was younger. Yeah, like I remember making friends was so much easier. I remember being nicer to people was so much easier. But I feel like the years that I've spent fighting against adults and real world people and the big guys, now I'm in a situation where I'm honestly like I'm grateful that I wasn't exposed to that sooner, but I'm also insecure
Yeah.
because I'm not like everyone.
Yep.
Thank God I'm not like everyone else.
Yep.
But also like dang I'm not like everyone else.
Hmm.
So that was my thesis statement. That was
You're
Elle Wood's introduction. That like Harvard Law should like please. Are you kidding me? If Harvard Law wanted to do a case study on my brain right now, I'd get in for free. Just hope you know that. Anyways,
All
Harvard Law
right.
students, if you guys are hearing this, please send it to the Harvard Law professor, the head of Harvard Law.
Please.
Thank you. Anyways.
You said
Yeah.
everything that I was. Ugh, you just said everything. You said something that I liked. You said, um, it's just, it sucks because you're not like everyone else, and thank God you weren't exposed to it sooner. I think, and then it's like, oh, but I wish I was, but I wish I wasn't. And
Yeah.
it's like one of those things where we want to fit in so bad. Like we want to fit in something that we just weren't created to be. And like I think
Yeah.
I look at people in situations and not in a bad way, not to judge them, but I'm like, thank God that I had God sooner. Thank God
Yeah.
that I had God before I got into these things or while I'm in these things, because now I know how to handle situations better than people around me that may be struggling, not because they weren't meant to fight that battle. Like they might just be meant to fight that battle and I'm just there to watch and keep them in prayer. But it's like I remember reading something that or writing something too that was just I was just saying like we weren't like there's just molds that we weren't created to fit. And I
Yeah.
think that's where the
Exactly.
insecurities stems too. It's like I wasn't supposed to fit in though. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
And we want to look and shout out to Cindy if you're listening. I remember one time she told me
Oh.
something and I've just always been insecure about not insecure, but I love clothes. I love clothes. I love fashion. I love
Right.
styling.
She's a fashion girl.
Yes. And so I remember showing Cindy a picture of an outfit that I had in mind. And she was like, what do you want to wear that? Like, why? She's like, it's pretty, but like, why do you want to wear that? And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, because I want to stand out, because I want to be out of my comfort zone. And she was just like, so do you look different or the same as everybody else? Because if I wore the same thing that everybody else wore, are they going to distinguish me? Or am I look like everybody else because of the
Oh,
clothes that I'm wearing? And I was like, oh,
she ate you up.
she ate me
Ooh,
up. And
she ate you.
I was like, you right. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie at first because I know she's right. And it's just
Yeah.
like those things that why do you want to look like everybody else? And I had to think about it later because in that moment I couldn't think. I was like, I love
Yeah.
you. I'm going to sleep.
Oh. Yeah.
But she was being a mom and she was being guided by the Holy Spirit in all ways, shapes, and forms. And that's why I'm
Yeah.
grateful for her. But it made me think, and I was like, dang, why do I want to look like everybody else so bad? What is it?
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Like, what is that? What is that
Yeah.
insecurity that is like, oh, you didn't do this. You didn't look like this before. Why do you want to look like this now? Why do you want to act like this now?
Yeah.
Um, and it just reminded me of what you said when you said that. I wish I saw it sooner, but I'm grateful that I didn't. But then dang, I don't fit in now. And it's kind of like
Yeah.
you're in between two sides. Like, am I stepping out because I'm doing something new for myself? Do I really want to do it? Or am I trying to make myself look cool? Because
Yeah.
I think we're just at this age too. Like I know you just turned 18. You're an adult now. But it's like, oh, I just turned 18.
It doesn't even feel like it, but yeah. Yeah.
Because you're so mature to me at least, but like you're so mature, but we want to do things that we've never done or be
Yeah.
things and be people that we've never like we've seen but we've never have been like. So to do that, it gives me imposter syndrome, to be honest. Like,
Exactly. Yeah. That's such a
and
good
it's just
description
an
of it. Yeah.
insecurity, and it's just like recognizing that it's it's one thing to be insecure about it and fall in it, because there's something very toxic about falling into insecurity and just thinking, oh, I'm not worthy enough, I'm not cool enough, I can't do this. Like, but then there's also God that's like, that I didn't make you to look like everyone else, and it's not the purpose that I created you to be, and I already formed you, I knew you, I know the plans that I have for you, so why do you want to change your plans to look like someone else's? And I think that's it
That's
for
really
me.
good. Yeah. No, you ate that. Like that's what I'm saying, and I think it's this. And I've been seeing a lot of videos of it, and low key, it's like hitting me. And I've always said this: like your relationship with God is about sacrifice. It doesn't mean
Yeah.
that certain things are wrong or certain things are right, because our morals, like buying a Fashion Nova outfit on Instagram, was not a sentence put in the Bible. Like I
Yeah.
promise you, like our specific moral line is really twisted up in the world, but it's about sacrificing the things that you might hold more important than your relationship with God.
Yeah.
But I think I've been seeing a lot of videos of like people at like a Christian hip hop or like Christian rap concert, and like people being like, oh, like you're trying to associate with the world, like this is one way to be with the world but not with the world,
Yeah.
like you're just using God as an excuse to be this, da, da, da. And it's just like, at first I was just like, obviously not, like you can still listen to Christian rap, that's what I do. I've been doing that a lot because I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
like distance myself from like rap or hip hop, um, and just because there's so many good Christian artists that it's just like, it's so fulfilling. Music really is the window to like the ears, to the soul, like
Yeah.
everything you put in comes out. um but I was like rewatching those videos, and like again, like obviously it's not like, there's many people there that are just trying to uplift the word of Christ, and like some people are not going to hear it unless you put like a sick beat to it or like a
Right.
catchy rhythm, like they're not going to hear it anywhere else or any way else. So that is necessary. But when you think about it, like what other things are we allowing into our lives because we're insecure, like we're feeling like, oh,
Yeah.
we need to be with the world, that is, we're putting it above Christ or above the gospel. And honestly, it's just like, it's hard because exactly that, like there was a period where like literally I was so scared to post anything about me being Christian, anything about
Yeah.
my parents being pastors, even though that was my whole personality, because I was trying to
Mm.
be someone I wasn't.
Yeah.
Because I was prioritizing a crowd that I wanted to be like, than a crowd that like supported who I am.
Mm.
And I have had many regrets in my life, but I think my biggest regret so far, literally, I haven't even lived that much, but I feel like I've lived so much, but it's still
Hmm.
much more to go. One of my biggest is like, I wish the important people that I met, not just important to me, but important in status. Like, I've sat down on tables with really important people,
Mm-hmm.
not because I got there, it's because God got me there. And I
Right.
had the nerve to act like it wasn't Him.
Yeah.
And that's my biggest regret. Like, I was so worried about how people would see me that I deflected and reflected my own insecurities upon other people. And it's just sad. It's just like things like that where it's like we need to be very aware
Right.
of how we see the world, and if we worship, because guys, anything you idolize, you're worshiping it. Like
Exactly.
anything that we worship more than God, it just can't happen. And that's why sacrifice is necessary. You think, like when you think of the Bible, I always, I don't know, sacrifice is the word of the year, I
You
guess.
have to. Yeah.
But like, they didn't just sacrifice anything, they sacrificed the most purest beautiful animals, like the purest white lambs, like the first offspring of cows. Like, you think those were bad? You
Yeah.
think they were like freaking, like, discarded ones? The ones that were
Right.
discarded and old, they weren't accepted as offerings
Exactly.
because it needs to cost you something.
Exactly.
That's why King David in his Psalms, he said, I don't want to give you anything that doesn't cost me anything. God knows that, maybe if you're not really into books, I am. So maybe like I'll give up books, but like if God knows that, I don't know, hanging out with that one friend doesn't really affect you, and you trying to give up time for that, like that doesn't work. But
Right.
like, what about that friend group that you're constantly trying to impress? What
Yeah.
about that friend that you don't talk to about Christ because you're too scared or you think they're going to see the real you?
Right.
Like, I'm sorry, God doesn't have time for your insecurities. There's
Yeah.
a world of people that need to hear His gospel. Um, Anyways, to sum that whole story up, um, yeah, I think it's important that we recognize how we are feeling, because our biggest mistake is that, like, because it's like when you talk about like, oh, I'm so insecure, like that's a sign of weakness, and we don't really want to
Hmm.
share that. We want to act like, again, everything's fine, everything's okay, like we're not insecure, we're staying exactly where we need to be, like we know who we are. But not admitting it is so much of a bigger mistake, because literally I've been doing that forever. Just trying to act like I'm not insecure, like I'm not, like nothing is affecting me. And that was my biggest mistake, because then I just spent years not getting the help I needed because I wanted to impress people or
Yeah.
just be Pinterest girly,
Hmm.
you know, mentally ill, but in a cute way. So yeah, that was my other thesis statement. That my backup one. But yeah, and then like we also talk about like insecurities. Like I know we've talked about it, but like if you want to share some ways that you find that you battle your feelings and how you
Yeah.
overcome them, and obviously you're not just gonna get rid of them ever, because it just sticks with you. But what
Yeah.
are some ways that help
Sometimes
you?
sometimes they still there. They're still there. I think what I have to do is just remind myself. It's good to also, I will always say in every episode, to have people that will also remind you of who you are and your purpose and all the things that maybe you don't understand, but they see in you. I think no one sees you better, or no one looks at you better than the people that love you, because we will always have an opinion about ourselves, and the people that love us will always, they'll always speak life. If they love you, they'll always speak life into you. And I think one of the ways that I've done that, I've gotten somewhat better, is being honest. I think Emily was hit it on the nail. I think you hit it on the nail when you said right there, you said I had to, you know, to say it and speak and be honest with myself. And it's just
Yeah,
being honest with yourself. Hey, I'm insecure about this, but hey, I'm gonna get better. Or hey, this kind of sucks, but I'm going to therapy. Or hey, I don't feel good, but I'm trying. And
yeah,
literally speaking it out. If you don't have someone to talk to, just speaking it out, speaking life. I'm a journal girly. I like to write everything, and I like to write down my feelings. I like to write letters, and I always will call my poems, some of them, like letters to God or letters to myself, letters to my younger self, letters to this, because it, writing to yourself, I don't feel good, but I'm trying, or this really sucks right now. And just being honest with the situation, being honest with your
mm,
insecurity. That's
I love that.
kind of what just gets me through. It's not the easiest thing to do. But if we're going to be honest with anyone, be honest with yourself and be honest with God. He already knows the points in which you feel weak. But it's not for you to stay there. Um, so it's one thing to like pity yourself because of your insecurity. It's another thing to continuously work on it. But what would be for you that?
So good. Honestly, like daily mantras. It's honestly like I have to say that it's such like a oh like you do mantras in the morning. I am beautiful. I am smart. But did I talk about this last episode? But it's like no, I think I just told you. Like I've been doing mantras recently a lot.
Right.
Um, but it's more just like I am an example of what Christ did in my life, and I am a testimony of what Christ can do in the lives of others. And I say that every morning. It's part of it.
And that's good.
And it's just like I need to remind myself that I am chosen for a reason and
Right.
that I am set up. And I was going to say that earlier, like you mentioned something about being set apart. Like you're going to find so many, and this is that, like people that know they're set apart are set apart in so many different ways. Like even like
Yeah.
being picked last for a game, being a different color, there not being enough stuff, and you have to get something else. Like there's so many situations people who are set apart recognize when they're being set apart in every single instance in their life.
Yeah.
And I think it's recognizing your daily mantras, which please do them. Speak life. Like whatever you give out, you get back. Like, and that's not just like a, it's literally a biblical principle. Like do unto others
Right.
as you would like them do to you. Um, just recognizing and being able to say full hearted with your chest, even if you don't believe it.
Yeah.
Like, and this is not acting like you're okay. It's understanding that you're not okay, but one day you will be. And
Yeah.
until that day, every single day, you're going to remind yourself that I am loved and I am protected by God and I am on my path and I am heading towards my destiny. Like, that is what you need to remind yourself. Um, and it's very small at first, but over time, you're going to realize that your brain is wired like all the I can'ts, like I can, like all the I would is like I should and like I'm
Yeah.
going to do it. Like, all those things like are so important. So I think like what helps me like in my insecurity are the times where I just feel so down, remembering not only what I'm saying for myself but what God promised me.
Right.
Like read your Bible, there's like thousands upon thousands of promises that God gives us in moments like these. Like God knew that there was going to be trials, like, when we followed him. That is part of the deal. But, like, isn't it great that we don't have to do it alone?
Exactly.
That's just the main message of it. No matter what you go through, you're never going to be alone. So, yeah, that's what I like to do
I
in my
love
spare
it.
time.
Of course. And I'm
Yeah.
so happy that we were able to just take time and just talk about this because we've been trying to do this one for a bit. But
I
I hope
know.
that it reaches the right people as always, as we always pray. And if you have some insecurities you're dealing with, that this episode gives you comfort, or if you know somebody that struggles with insecurity, send it to them and share it with them and let them know that you're with them and that they're not alone, and that more importantly that God hears them. And yeah, that's it, guys. We love you so much.
Yeah. We missed you guys. We love you guys. And yeah, make sure to follow us on our Yes You Pod socials, YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, Apple Music.
And that's it.
That's it. Yeah. Go to the rotation in order and then backwards and then unfollow then refile, but please make sure do not unfollow if you're not gonna refollow. I'm so serious.
And make sure you
I
share the
know
episode.
exactly.
Tag us and tag us too.
Yeah. Tag us, please, in every single one of your posts. No, I lied. I take that back. Do not tag us in every single one of your posts. Tag us in the post where you're reposting us. Tag us in the stuff that you're reposting us. Thank you. That's it.
Yes, please.
All right,
All right,
bye.
we love you guys.
We love you guys.
Love
We love
y'all.
you guys. See you next
Bye.
week. Bye.